Hey there, superstars! It's me, FNAF Merch Plus, your source for FNAF news, merch, lore, and more. Today, I want to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, the newest entry in the world of FNAF. Now, I already did a video on what I think is the major lore reveal in this game. Go check that out if you haven't. But today, I just want to talk about how good this game is. Seriously, it's amazing, and I want to rant about just how amazing it is. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. Now, before we start, please note that this video will contain spoilers, so if you have not played this game and you still want to, go do that first. Now, let's get into the video. So what exactly makes this game so amazing to me? Well, basically everything about it, but I've picked just a few main categories to where this video doesn't get way longer than it needs to be. These four categories are number 1, the gameplay, number 2, the difficulty, number 3, the visuals, and number 4, the lore. I will also be talking about one thing I would change about the game towards the end of the video. So let's begin with number 1, the gameplay. The gameplay of Into the Pit is simple on the surface, but there's so much more depth to it than people think. The basic concept is just stealth, don't get caught by the yellow rabbit and his friends while you complete different tasks to progress the story. Talking about it that way though, is completely ignoring the actual thought and time that's gone into making the gameplay engaging and fun. The yellow rabbit is smart. I mean, compare him to the AI of the Glamrocks in Security Breach. Those bots lose track of you simply from running a circle around a potted plant.
Who wants candy? Your family is looking for you. Where are you? Gregory.
Into the Pit makes the enemy feel much more alive and threatening, leading to a game that feels a lot more intense to play. It's hard to get him to lose track of you. Noisemakers don't distract him if he's already chasing you, and hiding while being chased will usually lead to a minigame to stop him from catching you. I love that it's not an instant game over if you're found, but it's also not made super easy to get away. It's made fair and fun. The objectives and tasks that you have to complete are the weakest part of the game for me, but they're not terrible. Most of it is just typical fetch quest stuff, but it's not made overbearing and it forces you to engage with the enemy well. The quests also help to guide you nicely through the game's story while not feeling forced. There's even a few of them that make you think a little bit, like getting the strings and fixing Bonnie's guitar. In this one, they give you a good hint with the sketchbook you receive. Overall, the gameplay of this game is really solid for a Five Nights at Freddy's game. It's different from most of the other games in the series, and different in a very good way. I love this game's gameplay, and to go along with that, I love its difficulty. This game has a very advanced difficulty system, more advanced than any previous FNAF games, besides maybe UCN. Now your first playthrough, you only have 2 options with no customizing them. This was a smart choice, in my opinion. Creepy is there if you want to experience the story with not too much challenge. Frightening is the hardest you can pick on your first run, and they did a great job balancing this mode. Difficult, but not frustratingly so. After beating the game once, you get 2 more options, along with the ability to greatly customize the difficulties. You get many choices: the aggression of the animatronics, how hard the hiding minigames are, battery life, even permadeath, and the ability to turn off any hiding spots in the game. There are so many different ways to play, and this makes the game very replayable, with players being able to make their own challenges over and over with so many different settings to change. I think that this easily makes it the most replayable FNAF game to date, and is just another reason Into the Pit is such a good game. Moving on to the third thing I want to talk about, the visuals. This game is so unique from any other Five Nights at Freddy's game in every way, but where it really shines is the visuals. Now, I was unsure about this game when it was first teased, and a big part of that was the pixel graphics. Clearly, they knew what they were doing though. This game has some of the best art direction and stylistic choices of the entire series. The gameplay segments are great, the animatronics are creepy, the human characters have a lot of emotion in their sprites and animations, and there's plenty of visual clarity in objects and the environments. Very impressive for a pixel art game. The menus and GUI of this game are also very well made and fit the style nicely. The hiding minigames are also a great part of the visuals. These things are genuinely tense and creepy. My favorite is probably the breathing game when you hide in the Golden Freddy suit. This one is so scary every single time and always makes me question if I'm going to game over or not. The highlight of all the visuals out of this entire game though are the cutscenes. These things are peak. There's no other way to describe them. Take this first scene as an example. The yellow rabbit has so much emotion here. He looks so twisted and evil. He's made out to be threatening from the start. You can tell just how much bigger, both figuratively and literally, he is than the player. This next one, when he's grinning ominously, showing you the mess that he's created, is a chilling scene too. He's proud of his work, and while you're not in any real danger during this one, it makes you feel uneasy and shows you just how destructive your enemy is. One more thing with the cutscenes is the endings. These things are amazing. The animations here are still so creepy and unsettling. The monster still looks threatening through all of it. The way that they portrayed the yellow rabbit and the others through these cutscenes is truly terrifying, and that makes this game one of the best visually in the entire series. The visuals also do a great job with world building and the lore, which leads me to my next topic. The story of this game is, on the surface, pretty simple. You play as Oswald, and you don't like your living situation, so you hide in an old ball pit to prank your dad. This backfires and gets your dad kidnapped and replaced by some kind of evil monster that nobody else seems to see. That's just the surface though. Diving deeper into the pit, this game, like every FNAF game, has so many hidden details in it that hint to a greater part of the lore for the entire series. Now, I've already covered one aspect of this in a theory video I made a few weeks ago. Go check it out if you haven't already. The link is in the corner right now or in the description of this video. There's other things than just that theory though. Like, what's with all the connections to the movie in this game? I don't know, and I might make a video on this stuff, but it's very interesting, the movie stuff in this game. Another thing is the hidden minigames. They are all related to other stories in the Fazbear Frights universe, while the main game itself feels, in my opinion, very connected to the game universe. Does this mean that the Frights books are canon? Maybe, but I'm not here to discuss that in this video. My point is that this game does a lot of that classic FNAF storytelling very well. The hidden games, the emphasis on environmental storytelling, the way it creates new questions, it all comes together to make for a perfect Five Nights at Freddy's experience in terms of the lore and how it's given to us. I think that this game also did a really good job on telling the original Into the Pit story, while adding more elements from the games without making it feel forced and tacked on. This game is truly an amazing entry in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. I love every part of this experience, and because of that, I was really struggling to find anything, just one thing about this game that I would change. I wanted a part of this video where I gave a few criticisms about the game and came up with new ideas to fix the problems, but it was really hard for me to find much of anything. I sat here for hours and hours, played the game multiple times, dug through everything, and I couldn't find anything. I guess this game really is perfect. Wait. There is one thing. One detail. One choice. One change. There's one thing wrong with this game that breaks it for me. They remove something so unforgivable I almost scrapped this entire video. They removed Bonnie flossing. Truly a tragedy. But I suppose it's still a pretty alright game. On a more serious note though, this game is amazing and will always end up being near the top of my favorite games in the series and just in general. This game is so good and I can say that over and over and never get tired of it. A huge thanks to everyone that worked on this game to make it the best that it can be. It really paid off. So now it's time for the outro, but before that I kind of want to announce some things to be excited for. Please subscribe if you haven't, I would really appreciate it, and you'll get to see all this exciting stuff I have coming up. I have big plans for the end of this year and all of next year. First off, I'm working on an SFM animation for a FNAF song. It's just my own personal project to get better at animating and to bring you guys bigger stuff, but expect this sometime early next year. Something this year is that I'm in the making of a FNAF room and it will be done sometime next month with a big reveal video in November or December. I'm also going to be at PAX West next year and I will make a video about that when the time comes. One more thing is that I have a cosplay in the works. I do not know when this will be done, but I'm aiming for sometime next year. That's all the updates for now. Thanks for watching and remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you all next week.